In the previous session, we have discussed about introduction to API testing, right? So we have discussed basics, right? Only basics of API testing, right? Basics of API testing, right? What is front end? What is back end, right? So what type of testing will be having front end testing, back end testing, nothing but API testing, database testing, right? Client server architecture, right? So workflow of REST API, right? These are all the basic things which we need to work with API testing. So to test APIs, right? So from today onwards, we'll be learning about this Postman tool, right? So it is a widely used tool. A lot of companies have adopted using for this, right? Postman. Some companies will be using this Insomnia, right? So different types of tools a lot of companies will be using, but Postman is having a lot of market share. So a lot of companies have started using this Postman tool. So it is very important to understand how you can use this Postman, and that too how you can do API testing, right? So what is a Postman? Postman is API testing tool, right? So API testing tool. So with the help of Postman, you can test APIs. So manually it is possible, by automation also, by using Newman CLI, we can automate our APIs, right? So Postman is an API testing tool. So with the help of Postman, what you will do, you will try to test APIs manually, right? So manual testing of APIs is possible. Manual testing of APIs is possible, but you need some knowledge of automation, right? You need some knowledge of automation, right? So when I'm talking about automation, so we can get some doubt. Hey, you are telling about manual testing of APIs, then where we have got this automation? Why you are talking about this automation? So you take simple application, data driven testing. So when we talk about data driven testing, what you will do, you will try to pass multiple sets of test data to a request. Is it right? So how you can do that? Is it possible manually? Yes, it is possible manually, but with automation also it is possible. Some basics of automation is required, and that too some JavaScript, right? Basics are required. JavaScript basics are required. Don't worry. When you talk about automation, suppose if you are from non-automation background, or if you don't know about JavaScript basics, when it is required, we'll start learning these basics also. But for now, I'm making you understand that if you are using this Postman tool, some knowledge of automation and JavaScript basics also required, right? Why we need this JavaScript basics, right? At the end of the day, what you will do, you'll be sending some request to an API. Is it right? You'll be sending some request to an API. See, once you send some request to API, it will give you some response as a return. Is it right? By hitting the API with request, it can be URL, it can be payload, lot of things will be learning, right? We'll be seeing going ahead. So once you hit this API with a request, you will get some response. So in that response, a lot of things you need to validate. So how you can validate? With the help of some JavaScript statements, you will try to validate those things in the responses. It's some basics of JavaScript is also required. Very good. And Postman tool, not only i- quality engineers, not only testers, developers, right? So developers also using this for documentation purposes, right? So if you want to document any API, right, generally we have Swagger, right? So for creating API documentation, right, so developers also use this Postman tool for API documentation. For creating API documentation, developers also use this Postman tool. Good. So this Postman tool, with the help of that, you'll try to test APIs. Very good. So we have two different types of APIs. Is it right? REST APIs. Is it right? REST APIs, as well as SOAP APIs. REST APIs and SOAP APIs. So Postman is capable of testing REST APIs and SOAP APIs. Right? It is available in two versions, guys. One is desktop version and the other is web version, web-based version. All right. So both the versions will be connected to Postman Cloud. Postman Cloud. Postman Cloud. Guys, tell me, you have Google Drive. What you can do, you can try to install some client software on your desktop. Nothing but desktop version. You can try to access Google Drive with the help of URL. Is it right? That means whether you access with desktop version or web-based version will be able to see the same data, how they are maintaining, how Google is maintaining, they are having some cloud. Is it right? In the same way, right? Whatever you do on the web-based version, the same will be reflected inside this desktop version. So whatever the updates which you do in desktop version, so the same will be updated in the web-based version. So that means internally Postman Cloud is there. Right, this Postman Cloud is responsible for holding all the updates, for storing all the data with respect to your account. Right, so Postman available in desktop and web-based version. That's it. Right, you need to understand this much. Good. At the end of the day, you will test APIs. Very good. To test APIs, what you need Postman tool. Is it right? Postman tool. So we need to download. Right, so we need to download and install Postman tool. All right, so how you can download and install Postman tool? So for this, you can try to refer installation document. I'll be sharing with that with you. All right. So before seeing that installation document, so let me walk you through official web application. So if you see here, so let me try to go to Google, search for Postman download. Right, Postman download. So this is what an official link of the Postman. Click on that. Right, so once you click on that, you can see here Postman app. Right, Windows 64-bit. It is a desktop version. You can just click on this Windows 64. Right, you can see an exe file will be downloaded. All right, you can just cancel that. You can also download that, it's not a problem. All right, and if you scroll down, you can see one more option, which is a Postman on the web. So web-based Postman. Right, launch Postman. When you click on this launch Postman, if you are not having any account, right, first you need to sign up. Right, you need to create an account with respect to Postman, then only you'll be able to use that Postman. Right, whether it is desktop, whether it is web, you need to have an account. So what I have done, I have already done all the things. All right, so I'll be sharing this simple document with you, Postman installation document. So just navigate to this particular link, right? www.postman.com/downloads. Right, just now we have navigated. So you can see Windows 64-bit. Right, this is what an exe file. You can just download this. If you want to work with desktop application, you can also do that. Or if you want to work with Postman on the web, right, a web-based version of Postman is required, then you can go for this launch Postman option. Right, launch Postman option. All right, so you can see it here. Once you scroll down at the very beginning, whether you use desktop version, whether you use web-based version, you are very new to this. What you need to do, if you are having some existing account, you can create, you can click on this sign in. Suppose if you don't have any account, you are a very beginner, you need to register right now. So what you can do, you can click on this create free account. You can just click on this create a free account. Right, once you click on this create free account, so you'll be having the window like this. Right, you can provide your username, password. Right, email also, you can click on this create a free account. But so if you create this free account, it is somewhat not feasible. So what I suggest you is you can just sign up with Google. Right, if you sign up with Google, it with one single click, you'll be able to create an account inside Postman. So you'll be able to use that Postman very easily. Right, so this is what a simple thing which everybody can do. So I have already done this in my local machine, so I'll be able to access that. All right. So you can go on this create free account, or you can click on this sign up with Google. So I recommend you to take this option, right? Sign up with Google. All right. So let me show you that. So I'm clicking on launch Postman here. So it is opening this web-based version. All right. Similarly, what I have done, I have already installed this postman.exe file. All right. So observe here. So the same thing you will be able to look. Observe here. So the same UI, is it right? So the same data in the desktop application, in the web application, you are able to see. Is it right? The same thing, right? That means both web-based version and desktop version is connected to Postman Cloud. If you make any changes in the web-based version, the same changes you will be able to see on this desktop version. If you make any changes, right? So on this desktop version, you can see those changes on web-based version. So you can use that as it is. You can use as per your requirement. So let me open that one more time, new window. All right. So what I'll be doing here, I'll be just opening this Postman download. So click on this link, right? Launch Postman. All right. So this is what an official link, right? You can see the same UI. Very good. So what I will do for your information, let me create some simple workspace. We'll be discussing this, what is a workspace, right? So for now, to make you understand, I'm just creating some workspace. Let me create my workspace. This is what the name of the workspace. All right, don't worry, we'll be discussing that. So click on create. So once I click on create, right, the same will be reflected here, right? So what I will do, I'll just click on this, right? So you see workspaces, right? You see, just now only we have created this workspace, is it right? So the same which you have done in the web-based version is now reflected inside this desktop version, is it right? The same UI, is it right? You can see here collections, environments, flows, history, right? The same UI with the workspace name, my workspace is created, right? You made the changes in the web-based version, the same is reflected inside this, all right? So in the desktop version of this particular Postman. So I ask you to go for this desktop version of this Postman because it is very convenient, right? You can try to access this Postman with your account anywhere in the world. So you can use this desktop application. Very good. Guys, you need to understand some important terminologies. This is what the basic information. Very good. Is this sufficient? No. You need to understand even some more important terminologies. So let us discuss those terminologies. All right. So terminologies. This is also like a basic session. You need to understand some important terminologies. So first thing is workspace. Just now we have created a workspace. Is it right? On the web-based version. The same workspace you'll be able to see on this desktop application. Is it right? So workspace. Workspace consists of a collections. Workspace consists of collections, right? Collections consist of requests, right? So collections consist of request, right? So very important. Workspace, collections, right? Request, right? This is what the hierarchy, WCR, right? Workspace, collections, and request. Good. Then what is meant by workspace? Workspace, guys, those who have attended to my previous sessions of Python Selenium, what we'll be doing to write an automation script, you'll be creating a directory. Is it right? So where you are creating a directory inside root directory. Is it right? So that root directory is nothing but it's like a workspace. So when you talk about workspace, workspace is like a collaborative environment, right? So collaborative environment. Collaborative environment. This name itself says collaborative environment. That means with the help of this environment, collaborative environment, what we can do, we can organize, right? We can manage APIs. Is it right? So at the end of the day, you'll be having APIs. You need to organize those APIs in the form of respective folders, respective packages, right? So respective directories. At the end of the day, you need to manage your APIs. So not only APIs, with respect to collections also, right? Suppose you if you're having a different environments, QA environment, UAT environment, right? Production environment. So those environment related, right, things also you can organize and you can manage. Also, you can manage team members. You can manage team members. So workspace is like a collaborative environment. Use it to organize, manage APIs, collections. At the end of the day, workspace consists of requests. Requests are grouped together in the form of collections, right? So collections and request, right? Collections, environments, and team members, right? What you can do, you can create workspace in Postman. You can create workspace. You can rename workspace. You can delete workspaces also, right? Very, very important. Let us see how you can create. So at the very beginning, so what I am doing, let me go to home. Let me delete this workspace, right? I will try to delete this. I will try to create this workspace from the start so that you can understand it. But this is what we have already created. To make you understand, the changes will be reflected in two ways, right? Two positions, right? Two locations, right? So at the very beginning, you can see the Postman like this, right? What you can do, you can just click on this workspace, or you can see here, there is a top banner option, which is like an workspace. So you can just click on that. So it will try to expand like this. So suppose if you are having a lot of workspaces, if you want to search for any respective workspace, you can use this search bar, right? You can try to search for workspaces. Suppose if you want to create a new workspace, what you can do, you can just click on this workspace, create workspace, right? Click on that, right? So once you click on that, you can see, right, it is also having some predefined templates, but for now, we don't bother about this predefined templates. We'll be creating a blank workspace. We'll be creating collections, right? So we'll be creating some request as per our requirement. So click on next, right? So it will ask for name of the workspace, all right? Let me give the workspace name as my workspace, right? My workspace. For now, you can see here the visibility of this workspace, all right? Is it is having internal, right? It is having partner, it is having public, right? So these are different levels of visibility of workspaces. Suppose if it is internal, right? Internal means in your organization, you'll be working with other employees, right? So if you want to share this workspace with other employees, so just go for internal option. Suppose if you are a business partner with other company, you can also share your workspace with them. For that, you can go for partner. Suppose if you want to publicly expose this workspace, you can go for this public option here, right? So internal, partner, and public, right? So who can manage this access? Everyone in this particular team, MMR 091296. This is what a team name. For now, I am the only member, so that is the reason it is showing this one member. Suppose if you want to have the access to other people, those you are inviting, you are going to invite, so you can just take this particular option, right? So only you and invited people. For now, I will just keep this internal, right? So everyone in this particular group, right? Click on create, right? So once you click on create, you can see this is what a layout of a workspace, right? Workspace is like a root folder. Workspace is like a folder in your computer system, right? So what you can do, you can create the workspace, that what we have seen. Is it right? We can rename the workspace. Suppose if you want to rename the workspace, you can see here, click on that, my workspace too. Suppose if you have renamed that, click on enter. See, automatically the name has been updated, right? You can try to rename the workspace. Is it right? Suppose if you want to delete the workspace, what you can do, you can go to settings, right? So in this workspace only, you'll be having settings. So scroll down. All right. So once you scroll down, you can see delete workspace. So once you click on this delete workspace, it will ask you the name of the workspace which you want to delete. So you need to remember the name of the workspace. Very important thing. For now, we will not be canceling here. All right. So you'll be having visibilities also. You can control the visibility as well. Lot of things you can do with respect to workspace. Right. So in this workspace, what you will be having? You'll be having collections. Right. You'll be having collections. Then what is a collection? Right. So what is a collection? So collection is a folder of group of request. Group of request. Right. You'll be having lot of request. Is it right? What you will do at the end of the day, you will try to group these requests. So how you will group? In the form of a folders, right? So collection consists of folder of a group of request or simply HTTP request, simply HTTP request, right? Collection is nothing but a group of request, or simply without group also, you can try to create some sample HTTP requests also that we'll be seeing right now, right? So in collection, once we create that, we can rename that, we can delete that, right? We can modify that, we can run also, right? So in collections only we'll be having some request, is it right? We can run some collections also, we can run some collections also. In one single workspace, multiple collections I can create, right? So multiple collections we can create under single workspace, under single workspace. Very important thing. Under single workspace, you can create any number of collections. Once you create a collection, you can run. So let us try to see how you can create a collection, right? So how you can rename the collection, how you can delete if it is required. So if it is having some requests also, how you can run that collection as well, right? Observe here, right? You see, this is a workspace. You'll be having the layout like this. There is an option, create a collection. Is it right? You can go for this option or just click on these three dots. All right. So once you click on these three dots, or you can see above these three dots here in these three dots, it is not having, right? Open trash it is having, right? Just click on this plus or click on this new. All right. So you can see it is HTTP request, GraphQL, AI, GPRC, WebSocket, multiple things will be having, right? You can see collection also is one of the option, right? You can click on this new. This is one of the option to create a collection. This is one of the option to create a collection, or click on this plus to create a collection. Yes. In this right now, I'm just taking this option, right? You can take any one of the option, this or this or this, right? Let me take this, right? So when I click on this create collection, you can see this is what a collection which it is created. Good. So I want to give some proper name for this collection. I want to modify the name. Yes, you can modify. So let me specify day one, right? HTTP request, right? Day one HTTP request. So this is what name of the collection, right? This is what name of the collection. So once you mouse over onto this collection, workspace consists of collections. Day one HTTP request is what a collection. Is this the only collection which you can create? No, any number of collections you can create. So click on these three dots. You can see when you scroll down, duplicate. So once you duplicate, you see multiple collection inside this workspace. This is one way, right? So you can see once you click on this plus blank collection. So this is another collection. Click on this new, right? Click on this collection. This is another collection. Is it right? In single workspace, how many collections you have? Multiple collections you have. Suppose if you want to delete a collection, click on these three dots, right? Scroll down, you can see delete, click on delete, that's it. So it will be deleted, all right? So these are all unnecessary collections which I have just created. I'm only bothered about these day one HTTP request, that's it. You can create a collection, you can modify that collection, you can delete that collection also. Good, very good. I don't have any problem. You can do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, I need to test the system. that system will be having some APIs. Is it right? So APIs are nothing but it's like an request. Is it right? HTTP request. Then what is an request? Workspace consists of collections. Collections consist of group of request or simply HTTP request. Then what is a request? Right? So request is an API. Right? So request in Postman is an API call that contains methods, different methods. Is it right? So we have seen multiple methods. What are those methods? Get method, post method, put method, patch method, delete method. Is it right? So when I talk about request in Postman terminology, it is like an API call. So API call contains different types of methods, right? So along with those methods, it will be having a lot of endpoint URLs. So we have seen what is an URL in the very first session. So we need to see what is a header. We need to see what is a body. For now, don't worry. One by one, we'll be learning. We are all setting the base for future sessions. Right? So to interact with a specific API, you need all these things. Right? What are the different types of HTTP request? Get, post, put, patch, delete. Is it right? Get means you have some resource in the database. If you want to get that resource from the database, what you can do, you can use this get method. Right? Get request. Suppose if you want to create a resource, right? Create a new resource, new entry in a database, you can go for post HTTP request method. Once you created a request, if you want to update that request, update existing resource or existing record on the database, you can use this put, right? So if you want to update partially, not full update, partial updation of details of a resource, you need to go for patch, right? In every interview, definitely they will ask you what are the different types of HTTP request, what they will do. And when you talk about a delete HTTP request, it will try to delete existing resource from database. Right? So these are different types of HTTP methods, HTTP request methods. Along with these methods, a request consists of endpoint URLs, headers, and body also. Right? So once you send some request to this API, right, with different types of methods and what are the stuff which is required, it will give you some response. We'll do lot of validations on responses, like it can be status code, it can be time, response time, in what time, how much time it has taken to response back, what is the size of the data, right, what is response body, right, so whether it is JSON or XML, cookies, headers. So lot of validations we will do going ahead, but for now don't bother about all those things, just try to understand. So how we are trying to use this Postman tool without any advanced things for now, right? So, and one more important thing, once you get some response, you'll also get status code. Based on status code, you can say whether the request is successful or not, right? We'll be seeing that right now, right? Good guys. So these are different types of HTTP request method. So for our practice purpose, we'll be using this publicly exposed APIs, right? So exposed APIs, right? Right, which is there in request response.in, right? So observe here, request.in, right? This is what an uh, uh, sample HTTP. This application consists of sample HTTP request. So RIC means request. Response.in, right? This is what an web application. So when you scroll down, right? So these are all publicly exposed APIs, right? Get, right? You have post, put, patch, delete, right? So these are different types of request, right? For demonstration purpose, we'll be using this, right? Let me show you that. So I have specified that in an Excel file, right? I'm just opening this, right? Observe here. So this is get post, right? Delete, right? These are different types of requests, right? So a request method it is, request URL, right? So request URL, request payload. Is it right? We have discussed request payload, response payload. Is it right? So request payload is what the data which you send along with the request, right? So under response payload. So as a part of response, this particular request will give you some data. That is nothing but response payload, right? So status code also, for now, I'm only validating the status code, right? We'll see what is the status code, right? This is what a post request, right? Suppose if you want to create any resource, right, you need to send some request payload, right? How will be you doing this? We'll be seeing that. So once you send this request payload, which is nothing but the data, you'll get some response, right? This is what the response looks like. And what is the status code for this post, right? 201 it is, right? It will be having some meaning. We'll be seeing that as well. Put, right? If you want to update. So previously it is a job trainer. Now it is job engineer, right? So I'm just updating the data. For updating the data, you can take this put. It accordingly, it will give you some response payload. So it will also give you some status code as well, right? So you'll also have this delete HTTP request method, right? Whatever the data which you have created with the help of this post method, you'll be getting some ID, right? To update that particular resource, you need some ID. That ID you will use here, all right? Put, right? So that ID also to delete that resource, you'll be using here, right? 76 is what an ID. All right, so you don't need to send any request payload, you don't need to send any response payload. And for your information, let me take this simple URI or URL, both are same only. All right, so what I am doing, so let me take this list users, is it right? So in this page 2, you are having some list of users, right? Let me take this. All right, this is what an schema and host along with this request it is. All right, so let me take this, right? Page equal to 2. All right, I'm just appending to this. Right, observe here. This is what the response which it is giving. Right, but generally, for your information, I have shown you in this browser. I will not use this browser because we need to do lot of validations. Is it right? So we need to perform lot of validations on the response. Right. For this purposes, we will not be using this browser. We can see here what is the type of response which it will give. Right. So, but we will not prefer this. Good. And before going to use this request in Postman, you need to understand some important thing, which we have seen already, right? Let me show you that, right? This is what an URL or URI, which we are taking, right? So up to here, it is a schema, right? So HTTP or HTTPS determines the type of a schema which this particular URL is following. Request.in, right? Host of an URL, right? API slash users. This is like a path, right? In this location, in this path, you are having some data. If you want to query some data, you need to specify this question mark, right? After question mark only, you can specify that query parameter, query string, right? So this query string is nothing but like a filter. Query string is nothing but like a filter, right? So let me write those points here, right? Schema specifies the protocol, whether it is HTTPS or HTTP. Host name, right? So here we are having request.in. Suppose www.google.com, google.in. That is what an host name. So in which host you are trying to serve this, right? Identifies the server. This host name identifies the server. Here, request.in. Right? So in some other web applications, it is www.google.com, www.facebook.com. That is like an host, right? In some applications, you'll be having some port also. All right. Suppose if you are using some local applications, you'll be having some port number also. Right here, you don't have any port number because it is publicly available. So that is the reason you don't have any port number here. Right. So you'll be having some path. So after this host, you'll be having some path. Is it right? So API slash users. This is what an path points to specific resource in your system. you'll be having like slash software slash index.com, right? Like slash users slash downloads slash KMR. This is what a path is, it right? So the same way in this particular host, you'll be having this path. In this path, you are having some data. You need to filter that data. So for filtering that data, you need to use this question mark. So question mark, right, or query string or query parameters, which are generally an optional one. But if you want to filter some data, you can specify. So it will start with question mark, right, and contains a parameters. All right. So in this case, a page equal to 2. You can also specify page equal to 3, right? In the third page, I want the data, right? Let me show you that. All right. Here it is a page 2. Suppose you can specify page 3 also, right? You see, it is having only some few data, right? Suppose if it is page 1, all right? So this is what a filter which you are doing on this particular resource, right? You see here. So multiple data you will be having, right? Schema, host name, port, and path and query string or query parameters are mandatory. These are HTTP URL components. Is that this is what an HTTP URL. So it is having some components. So and one more important thing. Observe here. If you see this, you are having what type of method request type, right? You'll be using for this particular URL, whether it is having any payload or not, right? So what is the response payload, right? What is the status code? How you will get to know? Tell me. Do we know? Because we are an automation test engineers, is it right? How we know? Generally, development team provides all these informations, right? So we gather all API information from development team, right? In which way they ask to develop, development team will try to develop that, right? So what this development team will do, this development team will provide some Swagger documentation, right? So based on this documentation, we create a test cases. So on this documentation only, we'll get to know what type of payload a request can take, what type of payload a request can take, right? Whether it is JSON, text, right? So raw format, right? HTML format. So what type of payload this particular API, right? And URL will take, right? What type of response it will try to return to you, whether it is JSON, whether it is a text, right? What type of response it will return, what type of status code which this particular request will return to you, right? So all these things will be provided in Swagger documentation. We need to see the Swagger documentation. We need to write the test cases. We need to create the test cases accordingly. Without that Swagger documentation, you won't be able to create proper test cases, right? Very, very important thing. So one more important thing, based on how the request API is designed during development, we need to choose proper format for payload. When I'm saying payload, it is mostly request payload. Response payload, so it is dynamically determined at that particular point of time, right? So request payload, you need to see that documentation which is provided by development team, and accordingly you need to choose the format, right? Different types of formats, right? JSON, HTML, text, right? Lot of formats we'll be seeing right now, right? So accordingly you can create a particular test case. Very good. So we have created workspace, we have created collection, right? So now inside this collection, right, what collection it is? Day one HTTP request. This is what an collection, right? So we need to create multiple requests. So these are all the requests, guys, which I'll be taking for your information, right? So simple request, these are all. Don't expect anything right now only, because this is also a very basic introductory session. So we'll be letting you know how you can try to send some data. All right, so how you can get the response from an API like this. All right, so let me try to create a request. So how you can create a request? Just expand this collection. You can see one of the option as add a request. All right, so you can click on this, or you can click on these three dots, right? Anything is fine. Right, once you click on these three dots, you can see it here, add a request. This is what an option. right? So in this collection, you are going to add a request. Is it right? Workspace consists of collection. Collection consists of request, right? Click on add request. Anything will be working fine. Click on add request. So once you click on add request, you see here, so a request got created. So you can rename that request. All right. So let me specify get request. I'm just renaming that. So what type of method it is? Get method. You see, when you expand this get, post, put, patch, delete, hedge, right? These are different types of request methods, right? So once you rename that, you see here, it is already got renamed. Before it is new request. Now it is get request. Suppose if you want to delete this, what you can do? Click on these three dots. All right, so you can click on this delete. So you can create a duplicate request also. You can rename that. You can view some documentation, right? If there is any documentation created for this request. All right, suppose if you want to open this in new tab, yes, you can do that. All right, if you want to share, you can also share that. Lot of things you can explore very easily. It is not a big deal. It is very, very easy. Postman is what a very simple tool, right? Just try to understand the things, how it is working. That's it, right? So what I will do, I will try to create a duplicate request, right? It is a copy, is it right? So I will try to change the method. So click on that. So it will be coming here. So now it is post, right? So once you select this post, you see here, it is changed to post. Now I will try to change this to post request, right? Post request, post request. Yes, see, post request. The name is changed to post request also, right? I will also be creating another request, so which is put request. Let me specify the name as put, right? Put request, right? Another request I'll be creating, right? So add a request which is a delete request. I will select this delete method, right? So you can specify delete request, right? Delete request. That's it, right? You see, so as per this particular uh, Excel sheet things I have created, get, post, put, delete. That's it. Only just to practice these things for today, only for today. You no need anything for now. When we go ahead, you'll be understanding a lot of things. Accordingly, we can modify the things, right? So observe here, guys. And one more important thing, every time if you make changes to this request, you need to save the request. Otherwise, it is not possible. So let me show you that. Let me try to click on settings, right? I am just removing this option, right? You see here, for your information, at the very beginning, for you, you'll get a save option like this. All right. So you see here, get request. So I'll be taking this get request. All right. So just get request. I'm pasting it here. All right. So it is what an page two it is. Right. Good. That's it. So if you want to send some request, first you need to save that. First and foremost thing, you need to save that. So once you click on save, it will be saved. Then click on send. Right. So once you click on send, is this the same response which we have seen in this particular tab? Is it right? So page equal to 2, is it right? The same response, page 2 per page 6, is it right? So observe here, page 2 per page 6, is it right? The total response. Suppose if it is 1, all right? So again, click on save. You made some changes, you need to save those changes, otherwise you won't be able to send that. Right? Click on save, click on send now. Now you can see page is 1. Suppose if it is 3, click on specify 3, right? Instead of 1, specify 3. Click on save again. Again, click on send. You see here, only few data you'll be having. Is it looking somewhat weird? Tell me. Every time you need to click on save. Is it a way? Is it possible every time? There is a chance I can miss also. Is it right? So what Postman people came with? So they came with some auto save option, right? So how you can access that? Click on this settings. Click on settings. So once you click on settings, you can see settings. Go to settings in the general section. Once you scroll down in the application, you'll be having this auto save, which is a beta feature. Enable this. So once you enable this, whatever the changes which you made, automatically they will be saved. Right? You see here, I'm specifying 2. Right? So automatically it is saved in the backend. You don't need to save that, right? Auto save option is very much beneficial, right? You see here, up to here it is path. This is host name. This is schema, right? So after this question mark, you are having query. Is it right? So page equal to 2. Suppose if I change that to 3, once I click on enter, you see query page equal to 2 has been changed to 3. Is it right? So this will be automatically done, right? Now click on send, right? It will show you some response, right? Along with this response, you'll be having some cookies, headers, right? So test results, right? And you can see status code, response time, response data, right? If suppose if you want to save some response also, you can click on this. For now, don't bother about all those things. Just only bother about these two things for now. Request payload, I am not sending anything, just using this get method, hitting this particular URL, that's it. So it is returning me list of users in a page, page to list of users. And the status code it is returning. Is it right? You see here status code. Let me specify 3 to 2, right? So click on send. So page equal to 2, per page you are having total 6 list of users. Is it right? Very good. Now let us see post. Post in the sense, if you want to create some resource in the server, you need to use this. So how I got to know whether I need to use this or not? So I have seen their simple documentation. Is it right? So you just go to this request.in, scroll down, you can see post. So once you click on that, so it is also giving you some simple documentation. And this is what an path, this is what a payload which you need to send, this is what the response which you will be able to see, right? So accordingly, I have just documented here, right? I'm just taking that control C, coming here inside this post, right? Paste that URL, right? Along with this URL, you need to send some request payload. Is it right? So this is what a request payload. How I got to know the request payload is in this format? I have seen the documentation. Is it right? So this is what a documentation which I have seen. Right? Let me take that. Right? I'm just taking as it is. Good. This type of request payload is a JSON payload. You'll be having lot of types of payloads. Observe here how you can send that payload along with this request. Click on this body, right? So like parameters, params, you'll be having authorization. So you'll be having different types of authorizations like no auth, basic auth, bearer token, digest, OAuth 1, OAuth 2.0, right? API key. We'll be discussing all these authorizations. If any API is an authorized API, you need to select any one of these authorizations, right? Headers, right? These are some key value pairs which you need to send along with this request, right? So body consists of request to payload. Body consists of request to payload. Very important point. Body consists of request to payload. That means observe here, along with request, you need to specify some information. Is it right? HTTP request. HTTP request. So you need to specify URL. Very good. That what I specified here, right? So what type of method it is, whether it is post, put, patch or delete. Yes, you need to specify that URL plus, right? So HTTP method. Is it right? HTTP method, right? So along with that, if any request is accepting some body, nothing but request payload, you need to specify that request payload inside this request body, right? These are the three things you should never forget if you are sending some request. Some request only will be having HTTP method and URL without request body. Is it right? So just now we have seen get request. Is it having any request body, right? Did we send any request body? No, not available. But coming to this post request, it is having some request body. So how you can send that along with this URL, along with this method? So like params, you'll be having body. Click on body, right? Click on this raw, select this raw. You see here, these are different types of formats, which you can send some body in text or in JavaScript statements, JSON, HTML, or XML format. In this case, they have designed this particular API in such a way it will only accept JSON. Inside body, select raw, select JSON. That's it. So specify that JSON body, right? So name Morphus. Job is leader. Is it right? Good. Method, URL, and the body. Now send. Click on send. Is it right? So you see here ID is 109. That means a particular record got created at what time right now. So 2025 3, which is March, 30th March it is. Is it right? Time is 14:52. So it is like USD or EST or somewhat it is BST. So accordingly, it is just taking that. This is what the time right now. So it has just created some resource in the server, right? Very, very important thing. When you use a post, right? When you use post method, so what the post method will do, post method creates a resource in the database, right? Accordingly, it will give you some response. Is it right? The same response payload it is, right? Observe here this documentation also. Is it the same payload? But here the ID is different. Is it right? So the ID is different. It will be dynamically generated or created from the server itself, right? So you need this ID to update this record, right? So we'll also be seeing this put request as well. What this put will try to update existing record on the database, right? So observe here again. So put, all right, let me take this. Let me take this particular URL, come to this postman, specify that. Guys, observe here. What is the ID created inside this post record, which is 109. So I want to update this record. So you need the ID of this record, right? Multiple records, multiple IDs you will be having. Suppose if you want to update only one record, you need to specify that record ID. Otherwise, it is not possible. What is that? 109, right? So you need to update. Update in the sense, do you need request payload or not? Yes, you need that request payload, right? So I have taken this request payload, right? So morph as leader, right? So now what I will do, I will try to update that. Click on body. So click on raw JSON. Already it is selected JSON. If it is not, just select JSON, right? Specify that. So job is, let me modify that. Let me update that to, so is president, right? So president, right? So now click on send. Generally you need to save, but it is automatically saved because we selected that option. Click on send. So once you click on send, you see here, it is updated at so and so time. Job right now, it is president, right? So name is Morpheus. Is it right? How beautifully it is just giving you that data. Previously, this is what the response. So it is just creating some record or some resource in the database with Morpheus leader. Now it is just trying to update that this put request from leader to president. Suppose if you want to change this name also, if you want to update this name also, you can try to update that, right? And other thing, you'll be having this delete a request, right? So you need to use this particular URL and which record, which resource you need to delete. That resource you need to specify, that resource ID you need to specify that. So let me take this, right? Let me come here, let me paste that. So if you want to delete anything, you no need any body, right? In this case, in this particular request, right? So request payload is not applicable. Response payload is nothing here because it won't give you nothing, right? So accordingly, it will also give you some status code. So for put, what is the status code? So which is 200, is it right? Yes, it is 200. 200, okay, request successful. Suppose if it is delete request, all right? So what I'll be doing, I'll be just deleting that right now, right? So it is not showing you any information right now. So this particular request is designed in such a way that developers wanted to show nothing once a record got deleted. But in some other cases, what it will be like, it will display some information, but here it won't display any information. So this particular URL is different in that way, right? You see here, this documentation, we'll be seeing that Swagger documentation also going ahead, but for now, since it is a demo web application, we'll be just seeing that here. Right? Just click on this delete. You see, response is 204. You know, don't have any request payload. Also, you don't have any response payload. Is it right? The same we got or not? 204, no content. Is it right? So observe here 204. Right. So this is how you can try to create multiple requests. You can modify inside a collection. Suppose if you want to uh, run all these requests at once, what you can do, just click on these three dots. Right. You can see run collection. So in collection only you are having multiple requests or not. Is it right? So just click on that run collection. So once you click on that run collection, you see what are all the requests which you want to run. You can select and deselect them as well. Select all, right? So deselect all, anything you can do, right? Run manually, schedule runs. So these are the options which you'll be seeing going ahead. But for now, select only this, run manually. Iterations is one, right? Suppose during data driven testing, if you want to pass any data, you can pass that data also. You can specify that data in JSON or CSV files, right? We can see that going ahead. So run day one HTTP request. You see here, requests are getting executed, right? So view results. You see here, so no test found. So that is the reason you won't be able to see that green or red because we did not write any validations. Is it right? So 200, 201, these are all the status codes. So these are all as expected. So you can click on this summary. So 0 of 0, that means you have written no validations. So no validations have been checked. That is what the thing right now. So what is the duration? How many times you have executed this collection like this? All these things you can see it here for now. But going ahead, we'll be seeing lot of things. Just to try to practice only this much for today. And at last, based on status code, you can decide whether a request got successful or not, right? So what are those status codes, right? Level 200, level 400, level 500. So these are different types of status codes. You need to remember these status codes because in every interview, definitely they will ask you, suppose if I got 409, what that it means? That means it is a conflict. Suppose if you got 500, internal server error. So these type of things they will ask you. Just to remember this particular table for your information. All right. So this is what with respect to today's class, which is Postman Kick Start.